Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Namadhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranja Yashodanandana Brajajanaranja Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Go Primande Jayam Vishnupad Paramams Parajikara Stotra Srimad Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinde Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jayam Vishnupad Paramams Parajikara Stotra Srimad Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Gaur Premanande Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamdirahe Nashtaprayeshu Bhadresho Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nistaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, General History, Chapter 3, Text number 30. Okay. Parasparanukathanam Pavanam Bhagavat Isyaha Mithorathir Mathir Tustir Nivritimita atmanaha parasparanukathanam pavanam bhagavatasyaha mithorathirmathirtustir nivritimita atmanaha parasparanukathanam pavanam bhagavatasyaha mitorathirmithartustir nivritayimita atmana. Please chant. Parasparanukathanam pavanam bhagavatasyaha mitorathirmatestustir nivritayimita atmana. Parasparanukathanam pavanam bhagavatasyaha mithorathirmatestustir nivritayimita atmana. Thank you very much. Word meaning paraspara mutual. Anukathanam discussion. Pavanam purifying. Bhagavat of the Supreme Lord. Yashaham glories. Mitha mutual. Rathi loving attraction. Matham mutual. Tustai satisfaction. Nivritai celestial of material desire. Materials, okay. Mithaham mutual. Atmana of the soul. One should learn how to associate with the devotees of the Lord by gathering with them to chant the glories of the Lord. This process is most purifying. As the devotees thus develop their loving friendship, they feel mutual happiness and satisfaction. And by thus encouraging one another, they are able to give up the material sense gratification, which is the cause of all suffering. Purport. According to Sridhar Swami, those who are advanced in Krishna consciousness should not envy one another or quarrel among themselves. Giving up all the such mundane feelings, they should gather to gather together and chant the glories of the Supreme Lord for mutual purification. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has pointed out that the glorification of the Supreme Lord is especially potent when performed in association of the pure devotees. When the devotees engage in Sankirtana chanting the glories of the Lord together, they experience the highest transcendental bliss and satisfaction. Thus, they encourage one another to give up the material sense gratification, which is based on illicit sexual connection with a woman. When one devotee will say another to another, "Oh, you have given up sense gratification. Starting today, I shall also give it up." One should learn to increase one's love for devotees to satisfy them and to give up sense object of unfavorable to the service Krishna. And one should learn to view the entire universe as paraphernalia for the Lord's service. By engaging the objects of senses in the Krishna service, one automatically becomes a detachment from them, and one And as one passes one's day in the association of Lord's devotees, one's transcendental ecstasy increases more and more. Through the discussion about the topics of Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, one who wants to be free from the harassment of Maya in the form of sense gratification must constantly associate with the pure devotees of the Lord, who have no engagement other than chanting, hearing glories of the Lord, and carrying out his mission of on earth. Sri Madhvacharya has pointed out that just one who as one should cultivate the friendship with devotees, and one must cultivate the spirit of friendship towards the demigod who manage the universe on Lord's behalf. One should live peacefully within this world. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Salakaya चक्षुरुन्मितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरों वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं परिजानसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So, this verse today that we are discussing, it's clearly mentions how one should associate with the devotees of the Lord. By associating devotees of the Lord, how one can get rid of clutches of Maya, which is first thing is sense gratification. So I can just read again this translation. One should learn how to associate with the devotees of the Lord by gathering and with them to chant the glories of the Lord. This process is most purifying. As the devotees thus develop their loving friendship, they feel mutual happiness and satisfaction. And by thus encouraging one another, they are able to give up the material sense gratification, which is the cause of all suffering. So, we got the message from our Guru, spiritual master, Gauranga Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and founder Acharya, that we should not do sense gratification. But sometimes what happens, it is very, very difficult to practice. So something which is very difficult to practice by a single person, it can be done by a fellow devotee. If if you want to give up such sense gratification, you have tried your best, but you are not able to do that, then you have to take association of a devotee. Just like in the beginning of our movement, Krishna consciousness. So one reporter asked Srila Prabhupada, what did he ask? Prabhupada, how did you become a devotee? Prabhupada asked him, how did you become a reporter? You know, he said that I was interested in journalism. You know, I did that course, and I went to the office, and I associated with them. I associated with the friends of the journalists. Then I became a devotee. Then I become a journalist. So Prabhupada said exactly. When you want to become a journalist, you got to study the syllabus, you got to study the subject, and you have to associate with a journalist. Then you become a journalist. Again, another time, Srila Prabhupada was asked, Prabhupada, how did you become a devotee? Prabhupada said to that person, how did you become a drunkard? So, he said that by association. Similarly, by association. By association, one can become a drunkard. By association, one can become a journalist. By association, one can become a businessman. Similarly, by association only, one can become a devotee. Without association, one cannot become a devotee of the Lord. People say, I will practice my own spirituality. Of course, you can practice. There is no uh, this what you call. Nobody says don't practice. But after some time, there are so many chances that you'll come back to your material life again, which is another sentence you fall down to the material world. So, to stay stationary, to stay stable in the whatever you are doing, you have to associate with the devotees. When you don't associate with the devotees, first thing is that you associate with the mind, and mind is also not a devotee. First thing is this. When mind becomes a devotee, when mind is fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, when then that can become a devotee. First of all, we are in the stage, the people in the stage where mind itself, they take the shelter of the mind, and the mind itself tricks them. You know, you can do these things. This is also devotional service. You can do this. It is also devotional service. By tricking, mind tricks one person, and exactly what will happen is he will be falling into the material sense gratification, which is cause of all suffering. Just like, for example, when you think of doing some devotional service, say suppose reading or chanting or hearing. Today I will hear one lecture. You make you make wow. Today is Ekadasi. I will chant more round. Today is Ekadasi. I will read one chapter. Today one chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Today is Ekadasi. I will read one chapter of Bhagavatam. You make a vow, and you see how mind will trick you. It will say, okay, first we have to do this. Or let me clean my room. Or let me do this one. Let me do this. After that I will chant. After that I will do. After this I will do. The mind just keep postponing. So if we have a devotee and tell, today I took a vow, I will chant 32 rounds. Ekadasi. So he will also help. He will say, okay, I will also chant with you. Or he will remind, will have you completed 32 rounds? So what is happening is that he is being acting as a catalyst. He may not participate in the he may not participate in the reaction, but he will act as a catalyst. He will encourage you to do that such things. So that's why in this process of devotional service, main element is one must develop a loving friendship with the devotees, and that will feel mutual happiness and satisfaction. Then, then what will happen? we encourage each other, and we give up material sense gratification. So this is the whole translation. When I come to the purport, it says that, you know, as a person in the material world, everybody is envy. It is not that we are not envious. We may think sometimes we are not envious, but the envy started from the point. Starting point is Krishna. As we came from material world, sorry, from spiritual world to material world, is the root cause of is envy. Because we cannot able to see the Krishna, why he is only the enjoyer, why he is only enjoying everything. Why can't I enjoy? Why can't I have so many girlfriends? Why he only have so many girlfriends? Why he get first offering? Why should he only get to eat first? Why should he only should get he worshipped? Why should he only get respect, honor? Why can't I? So that is the root cause of we living in this coming into this material world. And as soon as a living entity came to the material world, it starts thinks that I am the doer, I am the controller, I am the enjoyer. Correct. So in that process, he developed a relationship and he tries to do lord it over material world, and he tries to control. So that is the root cause of envy. So here Sridhar Swami says one should, who are advanced in Krishna consciousness, they should not be envy of each other, and they should give up the quarrel among themselves, and they should give up such mundane feeling, gather together and chant the holy name of the Lord, which is mutual purification, not one person purification, mutual purification. That's a that is the whole idea of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a Sankirtana Yajna. He always associate with the devotees of the Lord, discuss the pastimes of the Lord, do Sankirtan, do chanting. You know, he has shown a practical example. He demonstrated how one can become association with the Lord, chanting, hearing, and discussion. If you see this verse, it is exactly in the Bhagavad Gita. It is says, Machitta matgata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantasya mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So that is exactly here Srimad Bhagavatam is saying Parasparanukatanam bhavanam bhagavat yasya mithoratir matir tushtir nivratti mita atmanaha. So what is this says? One should associate with the devotees, chant the glories of the Lord. This is the most purifying process. And by developing such relationship with one another, and you will gather everything and free from envy. So this thing, when we do that, what will happen? Then one will be peaceful. You know, when one is peaceful and satisfaction, he will do the devotional service. What is happening? He will do the devotional service very nicely. It is not hard. He is not pushing. So in that purport, what Krishna says, the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted in my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So, this is a process of associating with the devotees of the Lord who are in pure characteristics, engage them in transcendental loving service, and their minds cannot divert from the lotus feet of Krishna. Their talks are solely on the transcendental subjects. Okay. The symptoms of the pure devotee is described in this verse specifically. The devotees of the Lord Supreme Lord 24 hours daily engage in glorification and pastimes of the Lord. Their hearts and souls are submerged in Krishna. They take pleasure in discussion with Him, one another. So their hearts, their minds, their thoughts, they are submerged 24 hours a day. One may think, how can be it possible? Yes, it is possible when you associate with the devotee. When you want to think, when you want to say that I will be engaging myself 24 hours in Krishna consciousness, it is a 100% impossible task. So there is one pastime which has happened. Even Lord Himself got attracted when the devotees were having discussion going on Krishna Katha. So this pastime in South India, there is a place called largest temple in Srirangam, South India. So in that South India, Srirangam temple, there was one sannyasi visited, and he was having discussion with the devotees. In the middle of the discussion, what happened? There was a procession of Lord Ranganath Swami. Procession means just like we do Ratha Yatra. Similarly, they have a procession means they have Ranganath in Palaki, palanquin, and they were carrying and going around the temple. So when they were going around the temple, these sannyasi is having a discussion Krishna Katha with many disciples. And sannyasi, when he heard, when procession is coming, they were beating the drums, conch shells, blowing the conch shells, and doing kirtan. When he heard, oh, there's a procession coming, because he heard the noise, sound, vibration, he told his disciple, "Oh, now this Ranganath Swami procession is coming. This is disturbance to our Krishna Katha. We have to stop this, because it is a culture and it is a custom that when the Lord is coming on the street, we have to stand up and offer obeisances and offer respect." So he said, "Okay, now this Ranganath Swami is coming. We have to stop this Krishna Katha and we have to offer respect. So this is a disturbance." So he said like that. So what happened? This When he said like that, uh, Ranganath Swami deity heard, and after the procession is completed, when the deity went to the inside the deity room, and deity spoke, he said that, "Call that sannyasi with all his disciple and ask him to do Krishna Katha here in front of my altar." Then the pujari went and asked sannyasi, and he said that Ranganath Swami spoke and he said that, "Do Krishna Katha in front of me. I will also join." And he said that on this particular day, we will not have procession. So 365 days in the Ranganath Swami temple, every day they have festival. Every day. Just like we have Janmashtami, Radhashtami, every day they have some or the other festivals. And in the part of the festival is that every day the Ranganath Swami goes on procession, Ranganath Swami do some activity. There is everyday festival. So on particular this day, this as sannyasi spoke, this deity is a disturbance. On particular day, no festival. All the people, devotees of the Lord, they gather together and sit in front of the Lord and discuss Krishna Katha. See how amazing is. Even Krishna is attracted to his own Katha. That's why Srila Prabhupada with Systematically he put it Srimad Bhagavatam class, which is in front of our DT. So Srila Prabhupada is a genius. He put systematic program like chanting, hearing Krishna Katha in front of the Lord. So this process, discussion with one another, which will help you a lot. That's why Srimad Bhagavatam is right after Guru Puja. It is not somewhere in the afternoon or in the evening. It is right after Guru Puja because you chanted and you attended Mangalarti, you did Guru Puja, you did everything. But when you hear the Lord's pastimes, Lord's glories, it will help you next day to chant nicely. Otherwise, if you don't hear Bhagavatam, if you just ignore Bhagavatam, then next day chanting will be mechanical. It is just like okay, passing our rounds. When will I finish my rounds? When will I do something sense gratification? So these are all the thoughts will be coming. That's why chanting is a very very important element. And to chant nicely, we should hear nicely. When you don't hear nicely, you don't chant nicely. When you don't chant nicely, when you the devotional service is not completed. So when you chant nicely, then what will happen? Everything will be pleasure, transcendental pleasure. You know, this is the preliminary stage of devotional service. They relish the transcendental katha of Lord, and this is a mature stage. They actually are situated in the love of Godhead. We may discuss some mundane things like politics, cinema, or wars, but it doesn't give you the satisfaction of the heart. The for time being, it may give you, and then okay, well, he has done like that. No, this country has done like this. That president has done like this. It may give you some kind of a pleasure, but that pleasure is not satisfied. That's why you have to associate with the Lord only to chant and hear, discuss the pastimes of the Lord. So when we do that, then what is happening that we get the highest pleasure and exhibit the devotional service, exhibit the love of Godhead. That's why Lord Chaitanya likens the transcendental devotional service sowing in of the seed in the heart of a living entity. So there are innumerable living entities throughout the different planets of the universe. Out of them, the few are who very fortunate enough to meet a pure devotees and to get a chance understand devotional service. So this devotional service is just like a sowing a seed. If it is sown in the heart of a living entity, it grows, on hearing and chanting. Just like a tree, how it grows by pouring water, and second thing is sunlight. When it is just like if you pour a water without sunlight, it will die. Correct. If you just put it a tree in the and without water, it will die. It needs both sunlight and water. Then only it goes. So sunlight and water compares to the hearing and chanting. First is you should hear properly. That is Shravanam. And then we should chant. Kirtanam. Chanting two types. One is chanting your prescribed number of rounds, 16. And chanting means Sankirtan together with other devotees. Of course, chanting also should be done in the association of the devotees like morning. So this when we chant the Hare, that seed fructifies just like a seed of a tree fructifies a regular watering. The spiritual plant of a devotional service gradually grows and grows until it penetrates the covering of the material universe and enter into the Brahma Jyoti, effulgence in the spiritual sky. In the spiritual sky, also, plant grows more and more until it reaches the highest planet, which is called Goloka Vrindavan, the supreme planet of Krishna. Ultimately, the plant takes shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna and rests there. So gradually, plant grows and it produces fruits and flowers, and that plant of devotional service produces fruits and um, fruits. And the watering process in the form of chanting and hearing goes on. It is not that okay when we reach the Goloka Vrindavan and stop chanting and hearing. No, it continues. People have misconception that oh we should chant here to purify ourselves. When once we go there, Goloka Vrindavan, no need to chant, no need to hear. No, that is a wrong conception. So that will continue eternally. One, if one gets a taste of hearing chanting, he will not stop. He will do continue. Why do you think otherwise Namacharya Haridas Thakur will chant 192 rounds? Why do you think that devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, especially six Goswamis, they continue read Bhagavatam? Why do you think Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked his devotees to describe the pastime that Dhruva Maharaj pastime, Prahlad Maharaj pastime again and again? Because there is a taste in that. And chanting and hearing continues. It goes on. So this plant of devotional service is fully described in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 19, chapter 19. So it explains that there when the complete plant takes a shelter under the lotus feet of Supreme Lord, one becomes fully absorbed in the love of God. Then he cannot live even a moment without being in contact with the Supreme Lord. Just as a fish cannot live without water. In such stage, a devotee actually attains the transcendental qualities in contact with the Supreme Lord. So it is such a stage where like fish cannot live without water. A devotee even if for a moment he cannot live without chanting and hearing. Of course, one may say that we are not in that stage. Right? If somebody says that if spiritual master says today you don't chant, you'll feel happy here. What a golden opportunity. And you don't feel separation. And you don't feel sad. Because we don't have such a attachment. If somebody says don't come for Bhagavatam class, relax. We don't have such an attachment for oh if I don't hear Bhagavatam class, it is I feel something missing in my life. Don't you feel that? We don't never felt that. Because we never experienced the love of Godhead. When a person who has experienced the love of Godhead, he will definitely feel, oh, I missed Bhagavatam class. Oh, I missed chanting today. Now we are doing because we have to taken a vow in front of spiritual master. We will chant 16 rounds. We will follow four regulative principles. That's why we are doing. It is like a duty. Just like in office, going every day 9 to 5. It's like a duty. Of course, we get paid at the end of the month or end of the week. But it is here we got somehow or the other in association of the devotee come in contact with the devotees, and we felt that this is very good, nice process, and we took the chanting and hearing. And the Srimad Bhagavatam also such a full of narrations with the relationship between the Supreme Lord and his devotee. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is very, very dear to the devotees. As stated in itself, Srimad Bhagavatam, Puranam Mamalam. You know, so this in this narration, nothing material activity is discussed. Economic development, sense gratification are discussed. Srimad Bhagavatam is only narration in this transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord and is fully described. And realized soul Krishna consciousness takes continual pleasure hearing such a transcendental literature, just as a young boy takes pleasure in young girl association. The simple thing that one has to give up sense gratification, it can be happen only in association of another devotee. In in uh, in this process, one will develop a you know loving relationship with one another, and Krishna consciousness, love of Godhead will develop. The process is Sankirtanam, engaging in the Sankirtan, hearing and chanting. Okay. So, in that, what will happen? He will realize, oh, you have given up sense gratification. Oh, we can also understand, oh, I have given up such sense gratification. Oh, I have given up association. No, watching the things on the phone. Oh, I have given up. You yourself realize this. Okay. Then one will increase the love of Godhead, and which is satisfaction. Otherwise, sense gratification, which is cause of all miseries, sufferings. All right. So I will stop here. Any questions, comments?
Thank you for your class, Prabhuji. I think it's a very important class, this particular subject in this particular class. I just wanted to share a thought. When we say give up sense gratification, I think it's very important to have the guidance of either senior devotees or spiritual master in order to give up sense gratification. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, because when we don't have association of that core devotee, we cannot give up the sense gratification. That's true. Okay, thank you. Yeah, you said correct. In association, we can give up. All right. You have anything, or we can stop?
Yeah, thank you for the class, Prabhu. I was thinking, you say we chant as to do it as a duty right now. It's our duty to our spiritual master. How do we know, when we get into that point of just chanting because to please Krishna and just to, that higher stage of chanting?
It's simple. After chanting 16 rounds, if you feel that I should chant one more round extra, then that means you are getting spiritual advance. After chanting 16 rounds, okay, no more chanting for today till next day. That means still you are on process. That is as a duty that you are doing. After completion of 16 rounds, one will maybe not immediately, like after some time, I think I should chant one more round. If you get into that mood, that means you are getting love of Godhead. That chanting, whatever you chanted 16 rounds, that is pleasure, not with a pressure. Okay. So when you completed chanting 16 rounds, oh God, this is like Govardhan hill on top of your head. You kept aside. And when you want to do more, chant more, one more round extra, or 2 rounds extra, 3 rounds extra. That means your the love of Godhead, eagerness and the taste for the holy name, it is increasing. So today, as a Ekadasi, we should chant more rounds as a matter of duty. More that you should decide whether you want to chant 20, 25, 32. You should share with the one devotee, and he will remind you whether you chanted or not. You know. And as a tomorrow, when you chant 16 rounds, if you feel like chanting one more round extra or 4 rounds extra, that means the holy name test of the holy name is coming. If it is only 16 rounds, oh my god, this is done till the bait bag, it will hang in our co-stand or in a table, it will lie on table till next day we touch. That should not be there. Okay.
Just a thought, because even with the chanting and even the developing more desire to chant, it's still the thought is you want to make sure you're still under the guidance of senior devotees and spiritual master, because sometimes you could be in the middle of a festival, right? And there's
Mhm.
so much stuff to be done in person. Well, I'm chanting some extra rounds. No, we need.
Yeah, time, place, circumstances. In that, what will happen is that, like, for example, you have a Gaura Purnima or a Radhashtami or Janmashtami. You should wake up early in the morning and complete your rounds. And whenever you get a chance, if you don't have a service, you should chant. And whenever before going to bed, you should chant 2 rounds. Or like that, you have to take out your time. Nobody will tell you take out your time. Just like if you feel hunger, nobody will tell you, oh, eat something. You find the way, correct? Okay, I'm feeling so much hungry. I should eat something. You will be desperate, and you will eat something or the other. You find somewhere the other to eat something. Just like a young girl or young boy, he finds so many ways to associate with a young girl. Without notice of his parents, without notice of society, community, they will find somewhere the other. Yeah. It is like that. When you are interest, you will find. That's why where there is a will, there is a way. If you want to do, you will find some or the other. You take out the time. Time will not come. Okay, now you chant. You find the time. Some or the other take out, reduce. We may reduce talk. We may reduce eating. We may reduce, wasting time. And we some or the other we chant more rounds. The six Goswamis. Why do you think they only the rest time is minimum 2 hours or 3 hours? Because they want to put more time, because they are love. That's a love. It will not care for your bodily needs. That is highest. Of course, we should not imitate that. Srila Prabhupada says one time to his disciple, if you try to imitate six Goswamis, you will die. So we should not imitate. At the same time, where are we and how can we approach and how do we chant more rounds? That should be the goal of every day, every person. How we should chant more rounds? Where I can find time? Where I can take out the time? Where I am wasting? That's why we should have our own schedule, and in the schedule we have to work it out. All right. Thank you so much. Grantaraj Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Thai Gaur Premanande.